It's another A Topic Live, a Thursday night A Topic Live, and it is yours truly, George Redeemed to the world. And sitting in with me, you don't know, we have our managing director in no other person than Althea Marie. And you don't know, my favorite minister is here. And her name is none other than How She Loves Me, called Minister Love. And you don't know that's Minister Mary Phillips. Yes, yes, yes. And you're truly. Young Minister Kian will soon join us as usual. And you don't know, we are here talking about personality development and all the works. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be informative. It's going to be to the point. And you don't know about biblical based, Bible based, God based, even though we're not having church. Yes, the foundation, the toil under our feet, it's a spiritual thing, a God thing in everything we say and do. It's to the level, so please do start your watch parties. Send out your invites, get your popcorn, get your chicken, get your chips, get your whatever. And as I'm saying that, literally somebody's here getting their chicken and chips ready for Thursday night that topic live. And I don't know why they come trying to tap my nose with this thing right now. I trying to hold my hand from stretching over there, so you see the levels, but Thursday night that topic live is doing thing. It send people out to get their chicken and their chips to sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have to talk about. We take this, what we do, very serious. This platform is very serious for us, and we try to be careful of the content that we bring across, the guests, speakers that we bring across, the topics that we choose to talk about. We try to edify and uplift family. We believe at Redeem Promotion, if we get a better family, better marriage, we'll have stronger community. And we want to give God thanks. And we want you to know that Minister Mary Phillip is the founder and CEO of Building Life, Rebuilding Life, LLC. Yes, and I'm proud to know that she is here with us today. She is a qualified counselor. Yes, at the levels, yes, qualified and all the above. And don't mind you see her so simple and quiet and you know, laid back. She's very bright. She's brighter than a 40-watt bulb. It's the levels, and I'm glad to be in her company. Altia Maria Dunno is my favorite cousin to the world, and me, she only handsome cousin. She not no more handsome like me. Yes, the levels. Yes, 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 I can dare to say. So as you join us, call up a friend, let them know Thursday night our topic is live, and let them know those persons who you think having personalities disorder, if there's such a word. Yes, yes, personality disorder. Let them know they can join us. Send a friend request to George Redeem and join us. We want you to be participating. Ask your question. Be interactive. Don't care how your questions sound foolish, stupid, or idiotic. Ask your question, because it's in asking your question, you're going to get the answer. Yes, the levels, we're proud to be here. Thursday night, that topic live is going places. I want you to know that coming in a few weeks, we're going to get back to basic, the old formal thing and the old flyers out early thing. And I want you to know, though, that this topic that we're on, after tonight, we have 2 more weeks in it to go, and we're going deep in it. And the 2 weeks we're going to go deep in it, our guest speaker is going to be none other than, guess who? Minister Gardner, I bet you couldn't tell me. I bet you couldn't tell me who. No, before you tell me, Minister Philip, guess who will be your guest speaker?
You, sir?
Me, sir. All right. Althea, you, guess who would be our speaker for the 2 weeks?
Well, where I'm from, they say big finger never tell a lie.
So it look like you're pointing at me, or Minister.
Above you.
You're pointing above me. Oh, you're pointing at Minister Mary.
Oh my God. What was I signed up for?
Jackpot, jackpot.
Was signed up for something?
Yes,
No,
man.
you don't have to. We just do that for you.
Okay.
God will just bless you with people who will just do certain things for you. And
Wow.
up is
You see, we wait till Minister K come, we confess, right? Yeah, I was about to confess something to her right now, and I don't want to believe that I'm the only culprit in this, right? Minister Garden, Minister Keon, all three of me are the deep culprit in this. In a holy way. Have you ever heard of holy culprits? We three are. Yes, to the levels?
Oh my
Yes, yes,
gosh.
yes, yes,
The
yes,
holy culprit. Okay.
yes. So
That's new.
we,
That's a new one. We need to
yes.
hashtag that one right there.
So we are glad to be here. I believe it's a very essential topic, a very needing to elaborate, discuss, and chat about topic. So at this time, I'm going to ask you, Minister Mary Philip, to do your opening remarks, because when I swing it over to Althea, she's not just going to be doing opening remarks, she's going to be doing opening remarks and then run through the register a little bit, and then we are going to pray, and we are going to do the theme song, and guess what? We're going to turn right over to our guest speaker. Isn't she lovely?
Jesus. People don't hint people no more.
Pardon?
People don't give people hint anymore.
this is a big hint because he said for the next 2 weeks. So that's a big hint. I mean, he could have actually waited till next Thursday.
Like how I normally do.
Okay, so I'm not starting tonight. I'm starting next Thursday. Is that what that is?
No.
No,
If you look at the flyer said guest speaker, Minister.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Y'all are wrong for that.
Oh my
All right, well,
God.
see, guys, you see what they're doing to me? So you need to be praying, please. Minister Holland, I need your prayer. Nobody can send me a memo. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. It is my joy. And I am overjoyed. I was telling Minister Gordon earlier, I said, wow, when did the Lord just drop these people into my life that I've never seen, never heard of, never.
Minister,
Yes.
sorry for interrupting.
Sure.
So, could you lift that up again?
What?
No,
Lift
Thursday
what up?
night.
Oh, the cup?
You can go and show off. No Thursday night, nothing no depend it. I want plain white cup. Yeah? So go and show off.
Your cup is missing something.
Yeah, it's missing a lot. It's missing a little more depth. Yes. And the Greek writing. Yes.
Go ahead, Minister.
Right. See, it's only on Hot Topic you could get all these interruptions, and we're very informal about what we do. So we'll crack a joke here and there, and we'll have you rolling, and probably have you in tears. Who knows what's going to happen tonight? But we're glad that you took the time out to be here. I'm glad that that God is with us, and I've always said that there's always room for improvement in our lives. As long as we're breathing and we have the breath of God in our being, there is always room. We could never ever say, well, I've arrived, and we put a full stop to our lives. That means they're taking us to the church and getting ready to put us 6 feet under. So I hope you're taking your full stop off, unless you are putting a stop to that and moving on to the next thing. So I hope tonight going to be a night where you will begin to look into yourself and to look into what you believe that God, wants of you. I know we are in the season of building, and Pastor Redeem mentioned that my ministry, the name that God rebuilding life, and that's what we're about, to rebuild lives. And so I'm looking forward to talking with you, which I don't know what I'm going to say, but we'll see. Because let the Holy Ghost speak.
I love that. I love that. And tonight she is going to see, know, and recognize that the Mary inside of the Philip was born for this. Was born for this. Yeah, because you see, I love the name of her company, her ministry, Rebuilding Life. Oh my God. I could have just make a song about rebuilding life. Yeah. We'll write it, a theme song for that. So, Minister Garden, good to see you in your Thursday night that topic live shirt, and I show up with the Thursday night that topic cup. We have to tell you, good have a Thursday night that topic blanket too.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night Hot Topics Live. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. It's always exciting. It's always great to have you. God is good. God is good. Pastor Redeem has already, told you what the topic is and that it's going to be informative. Yes. And, your questions. Like your question to come for. Oh, here she comes.
Here she goes around the ring. And if you see her, tell her come talk to and greet up the people. Yes, because she can do the talkie.
Hi, sis.
Hey.
Hi, my queen.
You have to come in and say like Shabba. You have to come in and say, Ami, man.
Pretty like a flower.
Thank you, Minister Phillips. How are you?
I am
Good night, everyone.
Doing better now I see your face.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome,
Mr. Sir look like he's giving a lot of trouble.
Always.
Mr. Surname easy for calling. Eyes are not doing nothing. Is Minister Althea not behaving herself? And sometimes I wonder if she's really a man cousin.
Minister Althea, touch his head and shake it. He's right under you. Just
Here we see Mrs. Auburn walk in the room. She's here saying good night. Yes. I mean, what eyes at the right there's a two.
Good night,
yes.
First Lady.
Yes, so we asked Kayon before Minister Garden finished because she's going to go. No, Kayon going to the roll call. Eeny, meeny, miny, bone, catch a puppy by the toe. Well, they are twins, so the two of them can work it out.
Do you have your chat open? Because she would have missed, if she didn't have it open, she would.
Yeah. You can continue. She will do the second half.
Do you have your chat open?
No, it's not working for me just yet. I'm trying right now.
All right. So while you're doing that, I will go ahead and I will do the welcome. Yes, as Pastor Redeemer already encouraged you to get your popcorn and start your watch party. Yes. First in line, we have your sister, Minister Phillips' daughter, Joanna Phillips. And good evening, everyone. Yes.
Hi, sis.
Minister Phillips.
I want you to read our greeting well enough. Our greeting said, good evening, everyone, and the most handsome brother in my life.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not wearing.
You know what? You know why you're not seeing it?
I'm not wearing my invisible glasses.
Okay, you needs it.
I'll put them on. Good evening, everyone. And
move your hand them if you ever see how you look. Move your hand them, move your hand them, move your hand them. Oh, God.
Yeah, Sister Kenisha is here. She's saying good evening to everyone. My sister Joy is here saying good night, Pastor Jay and family. Yes, Mrs. Alboyne is here. She's saying good night, and she have a crescent moon right there. You have a crescent moon. It's not a full moon. It's not a half a moon. It's the piece that looked like a croissant.
I thought it was a banana.
It looks like a little, piece of moon there. My dad is here and he's saying greetings to our Pastor Redeem, Mr. Jamaica, and
Well,
there, and he's forgetting to say Leobarite. Greetings,
well.
beautiful ladies on Thursday Night Hot Topic Live. Well, greetings to you too. My mom is just right under my dad, right there. She's saying good night, everyone. God bless you.
Are you a Christian? Are you saved? Golly.
Topics like
It's again. Caucasians is again.
including the chat is hot.
You hear what she said, my daddy? Oh, God.
He missed nothing, don't he? Oh, God.
Nope.
He missed nothing.
Auntie Manila is right below Daddy Turbo.
Push like that.
Where y'all seen all that? I don't see that.
You hear the difference? Do you hear the difference? And my mom is right under my dad. You hear the difference? Auntie Milena is right below. Only can.
So our daddy, Keon, is saying, my beautiful daughter, daddy love you, sweetie. And that's before you came on. But he meant all of us. Yes, and Joy is there getting jealous. But you too, Joy. You too. You know you're in the mix. You know that. Sister Patricia James is saying, good night, everyone. Good night. Sister Brenda is saying, good night. Sister Sue Richards is saying, good night. And Real Talk is saying, grace and peace all. And my dad is saying, thanks, my adorable daughter, with a smile. Yeah, so that's it for now for the roll call.
I'm seeing
Mr.
real
Sir,
talk. Yes, ma'am.
are you sure you're still in Jamaica or are you now in England?
I can get a lot of things done by the snip of a finger, like abracadabra. If you look right next to you, I'll be there.
Okay, sir. All right,
No,
just checking.
I mean, if you look to your right, not the left, you look to your left a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir, you can continue.
Yes, I'm right here. Minister Garden, do you have Minister Nash on WhatsApp?
Yes. I have her on my contact.
Oh, okay, good. I have a thing up the sleeve. We're going to talk. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You hear that, Minister Nash? He has something up his sleeve. So you just need to pull it out. Yes. Priska is here. She's saying good evening to everyone. And sir, would you like to take this moment to do the theme song?
All pirates, yes, they rabbi. Sold I to the merchant ships.
And development.
We should have make Keon sing it in a stoush way. But my hand was made strong. You see, people need to understand how when we talk about this song being the theme song, I didn't even have an idea of where it would go. But each time on a Thursday night when I reach to this song, look back on the previous topic, the previous discussion from whence we came. This song fitted just like how One Love fit Jumpstart, because dealing with personality development, you cannot be developed if you don't free yourself from some mental slavery sort of attitude, action, and thoughts. It's all in our mind. We can be better, we can be greater, and we can be strong together. So all pirates, yes, they rabbi, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, yeah, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, yeah, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, yeah, redemption songs, redemption songs. 'Cause all I ever have, yeah, redemption songs, redemption songs. And if you just think about the words, if you look deep within the words, especially emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind, not even God, because He created us and gave us a mind of our own. Are we willing to develop ourselves? Are we willing to be fruitful and multiply other than just having children? Are we willing to make our tombstone in the heart of every human being? Are we willing to take our wrongs and get them right so that others can see from whence we came? Or are we sitting there being afraid of what people say, what people think, or what people will do? Are we sitting there being nervous for saying to others, I need a change of life, change of perspective, change of thought? Powerful song. So Father, as we go along tonight, we pray that you will have control. We pray, God, that it will not just be Minister Mary, but it will be all of us, including those who joined us on the World Wide Web, dear Father. I pray that they will ask their question. You will interpret, give us answers for their questions. That at the end of tonight, God, every human being who's represented here will be filled and have a sense of direction and a way to know how to develop and to be creative with our life in a good way, that others can see us achieving, others can see us striving. I pray for every person that is listed here on the register tonight. I pray a special touch upon their life. I pray, God, that you'll breathe on them. I pray, God, everything that is in them that is dormant, everything that is in them, mighty God, that they can survive from and off it. I pray tonight in the name of Jesus, you will light it, you will rekindle it, you will bring it to surface, to flourishing, God, that they can leave this room tonight saying, I am a promise with a capital P. I pray, Father, that you'll have your way. Take control and guide us in Jesus' name. And somebody give God a big more praise because he deserves it. So we are talking tonight about personality development. And I know Minister Altia have the meaning for that. Personality and development. Yes, just give her 2 seconds. I promise you, she coming at you with that. Yeah. Every one of us, we should not settle for less in our life. We should not just accept where we are and think we can't go further. We should not just accept that this is our life and that's how we're going to die. I believe that every one of us have terrible and bad traits about us, things about us that we don't even like ourselves. Every one of us that have people saying things about us, we know within ourselves that some of the things they are saying is true. Yes, but the thing is that human beings have a tendency to point out your wrong, to point out your weakness, to point to your failures, to point you where you hurt them. But hardly you find that one that will come and say, you know what, I want to help you rise above that. I want to help you develop yourself to become something other than what you think you are just there to be. And every one of us have that elastic side of us that can stretch, but are we willing to stretch it? Every one of us who settle for what we have and where we are, is it that you maximize your abilities and your potential, so you know you max out, or you just settle right there refusing to stretch? Because I want to tell you this, if you want to develop your personality, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Because if you don't step out of your comfort zone, you can't develop yourself. You can't develop your personality. Your personality is like an ID. Yeah? People see your action, your attitude, your reaction, your persona, and they know that that is Jerry. When anybody hear about Pastor Redeemer, one thing them I look for, you know, a pastor that just go and say it like it is. A pastor go and say something the other pastor now say. A pastor we are going to step in at the mid-line preaching and just crack a joke and jump and roll and laugh and all of these things. That's my personality. If somebody should come to impersonate me, right, I put on a mask over the face looking like me. And if you truly know my personality, if you watch them for 10, 15 minutes, you will be able to say, I'm a pastor that. You see the levels. So one can't even pretend this thing. I oftentimes preach and tell people, a goat cannot be a dog for long. Because one day, instead I say may, or instead I say ruff, the may go and come out. Yeah? Because the ruff is not his personality. The may is a part of it. So one day, instead I say, you're going here, man, yes, can, you know, yes, I mean, I bark like a dog with you, go around them and have plenty of them, so yes, right? So this is what we're about tonight. And there are those of you out there sitting watching us tonight. A lot of people don't want to be around some of you because of your personality. A lot of people tend to feel uncomfortable around you. We're saying to you that that can change. That can change, right? If you're willing, it can change, right? And it don't cost $1 million to change it. You see what I'm saying? Just a made up mind. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. And when you do that, you'll be able to develop yourself. You don't have to be rich to develop yourself. You don't have to be living in a mansion to develop yourself. Look at these bright minds around me. Every day I tap into their life and develop myself. I'm going to tell you this. Oftentimes, I am asked to be in a forum is just because people want to hear me preach. But for the past 2 days, I've been on with Minister Mary Philip. And when I go back and watch that tape, I am more than proud of myself. In fact, abracadabra, she not here. Me have a cousin, right? Near Alta Marie. She don't even wait for me to press out of the thing. While me the boomer text come in a voice note, and when me listen it, boy, my cousin, me see in a different light. Poopa Jesus, you look at, watch my cousin on big screen TV. Look how my cousin tone it down and my cousin spoken properly and all of these things. Boy, my cousin, the capacity they fit you and bam, she does that carry on, Me not done the program, But can I say to you, that Minister Mary on those set helped me to develop in that side of my life. Serious. I'm still a work in progress. Because ever so often, everybody who would want to invite you on a platform, they want to hear you whooping. Very seldom you get somebody to say, it's not a preaching thing, we're just going to talk. And I was like, wow. But my cousin was so intrigued that while I'm there talking, she sent me voice note. Now I know so me can't listen if I tell me don't talk. Abracadabra, we can't let her back, Yeah. So that is what we talk about personality development. I myself didn't even know that I have that side of me. But because she invited me and she laid the platform what it's supposed to be, it now sharpening that side of me. I've done hundreds of interviews, but being in a program like Minister Mary program is not an interview. So if you're talking about the tree leaf, you tend to preach about the tree leaf, right? But to hear somebody says to you, it's not about preaching, we're just going dialogue, right? You hardly find that. So it gives me an opportunity to develop that characteristic, that side of me. So when we talk about personality development, we're not just talking coming from a place of shame and disgrace, right? You may think that because you have your degrees and your diplomas and your subjects and all of that, you're well developed, but I guarantee you that if you look deep down under your skin, there are room for growth, room for development. When Minister Mary done with me, I can go on any platform and sit down, interview and just put the preacher part to sit down and say, listen, we're going to reason ones and twos right now. And just watch my phone to see the voice note are coming from my preacher cousin. You see what I'm saying? And the truth is I didn't even recognize it until she sent me the voice note. It forced me to go back and watch these things again. And hypocrite can in a good way. Sit down, she said the same thing too, because you know what? Look how she agreed. So I want to say thanks, Minister Mary, for pulling that out of me. And the truth is one have to be very teachable if you're going to develop your personality.
Amen.
You have to be humble. You have to be teachable. And you have to learn to follow instructions. Am I right or am I right?
You're right and you're right.
Right. So over to you now, Minister Mary. You can ask us all the questions. You can just take the lead and just do what you're pleased to do. And yeah, just let go. I know I'll have
these three heads, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. You never know what's coming. They just, you just, I'm telling you, amazing. I am enjoying it though. But we've been talking since last week about
one second. I think Alte wants to say something.
Yeah.
You were saying the meaning, to throw the meaning out there first.
Yeah, yes. Go ahead and throw it.
Yes. Okay. So as for personality, we're speaking of the totality of qualities and traits as a character or behavior that are particular to a specific person. So just like how he spoke about his personality just now, and he just talk it as it is kind of thing. So it's in specific to people. It's about the characters. It's about the trait. It's about your distinguished qualities. It's what make you the person. A person as the embodiment of distinguished traits of mind and behavior, right? And for development, it talks about growth, it talks about progress. Those are the key things in the way that we're looking in context, in the way in which we're looking at it. We know that there's a whole bunch of stuff about development, but we're talking about progress. We're talking about building, right? So go ahead, Minister Phillips.
All right, thank you so much for clearing that up. One of the things that one has to, because we're all a product, the Bible says we all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So none of us were born saved. So each of us has situations where we're not very happy about. There are situations where we walk through that we didn't ask for it, but we become a product of it. And there are situations like Pastor George, when he was talking about his life as a child, you know, 5 years old, 8 years old, you don't know a lot of anything. So you depend on the people that God put over you to help you, to show you, you know, what it is to be an adult, what it is to be a child, to give you all the necessary tools that you need to grow up to be a good citizen. And sometimes it doesn't happen that way. I mean, let's take it for what it is. But there are points in time in our lives, if we are believers, you'll find that we will want to make some changes, and you must have to be honest with yourself. That's number one. You've got to be honest that you need some help. Because if you don't think you need help, you will close your ears to any kind of advice. You'll think you've made it. You'll put on the spirit of pride and you think that, you know, I got it together. And whereas you don't, you know, other people look at you and don't even want to be around you because you have bad attitude and stuff like that. And so children grow up in environments where they're supposed to learn a certain type of way. There's no values in the home. There's no values, you know, in school or whatever the case may be. And so they grow up to be that rude, disrespectful little 5-year-old turn out to be a 25-year-old talent. And so these things doesn't go away. So you first have to realize, you know what? I usually like tell people, make a list. Put your weaknesses on one end and your strength on the other. And so in doing so, when you write it down and you see it before your eyes and you're honest with yourself, because you have to be, because if you're not honest with yourself, nothing is not going to happen. The next thing, then you put down all the strengths, because your strengths are good and God will use both. And then he uses your weaknesses too. Because when you get over those weaknesses and you're able to help someone else, because see, when God changed our lives, he expects us to be an example to change others' lives. God accepts us just as we are. We're rotten, stink, you know, name it. He let us come into the kingdom that way. But he refused to let us stay that way. He said, be ye transformed out of Romans 12 by the renewing of your mind. And so a lot of times, this is where the problem is right here. The mind, we're messed up. We don't think we're nothing. We do negative self-talk. We don't think we can go anywhere. You know, we hang around people that is not going anywhere. You know, we usually hang around people that's just like us. And so in order for you to do something differently, you might have to change friends because they're not going where you're going, right? The next thing that you have to do, I'm just going to lay these down and then we'll dialogue on them. The next thing you have to do, take ownership.
Yep.
Okay, so I had a bad upbringing. I didn't have my parents around, and I raised myself. I had a bad marriage. I had, you know, whatever it is that happened in your life, life happens to all of us. But it's what somebody say, when you get lemon, make some lemonade with it. You might make some money with it, because there are people that love lemonade. People love a story. They want to see a success story, from rags to riches kind of story. We see that in the book of Esther. Esther was coming as an orphan girl, was coming from a place of probably not very wealthy, and she was thrown into a palace overnight, so to speak, as a queen. There are certain stages that Esther had to go through in purification and all that stuff to get her ready. And so in order for God to, God always want to do something for us. But the question is, he does not just barge in. He's looking for an opportunity for you to say, okay, Lord, do X and X. The next thing is, we have to retire the blame card. Well, I didn't get a chance to go to school, man, and I can't even get a job. And then we find all kind of excuse to go and steal from people, to defraud people, and do all this kind of stuff. So we have to retire the blame job. Another thing that if you're going to be doing self-development and growth, you have to decide that I am going to be proactive about it. I'm going to be proactive, even if you do one thing at a time. Because you have developed this life way of how you do things for 20, 60, 50 years. It's not going to happen overnight. So you've got to take time and be gentle with yourself. All right? And the next thing, you got to set goals for yourself. Small goals, not the big ones. Set some small goals for yourself. And you say, if you're not a kind person, or you're always grumpy and nobody could ever do anything right for you, you say, you know what? I'm going to work on my kindness. You have to pinpoint the areas. That's why I said, list your weaknesses, list your strengths, and see where it is. Okay, I'm going to tackle this one today. So you go to work and you do something randomly for somebody kind. They're going to look at you like they're shocked, because they know you mean like a rattlesnake, but you up to something. You're doing something. You want to better that part of you. And they're saying in research said it takes 21 days to change a habit. 21 days. So you might have to do this kindness thing for 21 days. You might have to deliberately open a door for somebody you don't know randomly. You might even make some lunch and bring it for one of your coworkers. They must wonder if you put poison in it because you've been so mean. But you know what I'm saying? You're so mean. I'm like, what is she up to? Is she trying to kill me? Do something kind, because you're working on kindness. You've been shot. You didn't learn that. You have never been showing kindness too. And so whatever it is that's inside of you, that's what's going to come out. So the next thing is, write down your goals. Write them down and say, today, this is what I'm going to work on today. You have to be proactive about it, because if you don't, then you're going to take on too much and somebody going to say something wrong to you, and then you're going to fly off the handle. Why? Because you have not perfected that area yet. And I'm telling you, you're going to be tested on it. Excuse me. I used to tell the high school students, today is Random Kindness Day. High schoolers, they don't care. They do say what they say, they do what they do. I said, open the door for somebody today. And then when they come back the next week, I say, write down in a short paragraph, what did you do today? What you did last week as a random kindness to somebody. And I'm telling you, you should be surprised. They will say, well, I opened the door, I made up my bed when I don't normally make up. Little things count. It's not the big things. It's those little things. The Bible says the little foxes that you trip up and bust your nose because you haven't seen it. And that bad habit, that bad, temper that you have, that you blow up for any reason, you're going to get fired for that. because you need your job to feed your family, you know. So if you think that's an urgency and it's something that you want to work on, you're going to have to start working it. And sometimes you've got to get an accountability partner, because even somebody on the job, somebody that's close to you, you know, that will pull you in the corner and say, don't do that. You know, you should not have done that. You know, someone that's not a yes person that will tell you as is. Because if you really want to change, you've got to put work into it. You got to be committed with wanting the change. Anybody that wants change gonna have to work for it. You can't pray change through. Yes, you can pray that God give you strength, but God is gonna expect you to do something. There's gonna be work involved that requires you. If you're not kind, if you every time you curse, let's say if you have a problem with profanity, and you're a Christian, no, because I know some believers like that. They curse like a sailor. They have a problem with that. And so they'll say to somebody, say, you know what? I want you to be my accountability partner. And every time I happen to say, like, you know, just check me on it immediately. So you have somebody watching you and making sure that you're on the straight. And get a calendar and mark out the day. Say, I didn't cuss today. Because that's self-improvement. And every time you overcome something, you pat your hand on the shoulder and say, look at you. Oh my God, I did good. You have to encourage yourself. The Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord. When you can't find nobody to give you a pat on the shoulder, you give your own self a pat on the shoulder and say, what a good job you did today. You didn't curse today. Look at that. You know, so these things take time. And so you have to be gentle with you, but you have to be intentional about you wanting to change. Any questions?
Profound and true. Before we do anything else and say anything else, because you're right about one of the things you say is so heavy, deep, and profound. People want to change, but they don't want to work the process. They want to just abracadabra and bam.
Yeah.
And then later on it stumble them again. Because working the change is what develop your personality to become what it's supposed to be, that you don't stumble over that again.
Right.
But at this appointed time, we are going to be taking a commercial break.
Okay.
Yes. Before we go so deep into this, a very interested commercial break. Can I laugh? Because she was like, Pastor, can't get trouble, you see. When I talk about commercial break, hold on now. You soon see our Burger King and KFC are going to commercial on Thursday night at Topic Live. Oh, yourself. China, she dead with laugh. She don't believe in us, a commercial break. All right, watch this. Habra Kadabra. Commercial break.
Well, this commercial break is one like no other. It's not about the outsiders today, but it's about one of our very own, Sister Keon Gray. She is an amazing woman of God, and she is so gifted. She is so talented. She does so much for the ministry. She does so much for others. And she never stopped to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to charge you this, that, and all that. I'm just going to give myself to you. But you know what? In this month of September, it's a month where we know we're giving birth to dreams. We're giving birth to visions. We are bringing all these things into reality. If you ever notice on the website, whenever like one of our flyers go out or anything like that, it's Sister Keon who's always designing stuff. When Pastor Redeem is speaking about Chef Auboyne's kitchen, when he shows the flyers and when he shows like the menus and all the cards that's there, it's Sister Keon Gray who is like the masterpiece behind it. So here she is launching her own very own design business. It's called A Touch of Class Designs, designs by Kayon. Her number, her email address is all there. And what are some of the things she designed, you may ask? Classy designs for your flyers, your posters, your bookmarks, business cards, postcards, invitations, and announcement. And whatever you want to design, Sister Kayon will design it with you in mind. She will design your socks off if you let her. And just to let you know, she is such a perfectionist. She will not give you anything off finished, anything off done, anything like that. She will give you professional work to the maximum. You will enjoy her work and you will go back to her again, and again. Sister Kayon, A Touch of Class Design by Kayon.
And I approve that ad. And to add to the ad, I is our manager. So needless you try to contact her and said, I'm asking you for a favor to design something for me, because if this your manager find out, say, she just out there designer, now collect money for pay she light bill and she water bill and she all of them things that I am going to fire her. You see the levels. So yes, A Touch of Class, and she good with her thing. I taught her well. Yes. So back to our regular program.
Okay, so the first one that I had on the list, because I was hit with that, and this is, random, but why do you think we need honesty in self-growth and development? What do you think? Why do you think we need that? Sister Kim.
Very strong
Minister Kim.
question. Minister Kim, good question.
Well, from my perspective, I think it's very important because, speaking from a personal perspective, I don't want to be the same for the rest of my life. I know I have shortcomings. I would assume that everybody can recognize their shortcomings or where they're falling short, in their life. And it should be each and everyone's desire to want to change. One thing to note where personal or self-growth is we have to want it for ourselves. So let's say, for example, I have my dear twin sister, and I have troublesome Mr. Sir, and I have encouraging Minister Mary, and I have my sister Joanna, all cheering me on, everybody on the Jumpstart family cheering me on to be a better person, to be a better minister. If it is that I don't want to grow, then it won't make any sense.
Right.
So personal development, personal growth, it is very important. You have to want it for yourself. You have to want something better for you. Nobody is at their best right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, just having that desire to want more, I think it's just very important, because then you're exercising. And I think Mr. Sir explained it very profound earlier that, we're all like an elastic band. We can stretch so much more, but, we all have to put in that work to really stretch to, the gifting that God has given us. So, yeah.
In the book, The 7 Habits, it read, and Pastor George and we discussed that, but I'm asking you to emphasize a little bit on that, Minister Gordon. It says, life is a book and you are the author. You determine in plot and pace, and you alone turn the pages. How do you think that fit into the growth and development that we're talking about tonight?
Okay, so first of all, I believe no one knows ourselves like we do, right? So let's say, for example, if I'm gonna speak about me, I know myself more than anyone. I know my good, I know my bad, I know my indifference, I know my strength, I know my weaknesses. I know me, right? And I am the one, first of all, if I want to write that book,
Mhm.
you mentioned honesty before. I
Right.
have to be honest with me, first of all. There is a saying that to yourself be true.
Mhm.
Because sometimes people put on a show for the world so that the world could see them from a certain perspective. But
Right.
in their heart, they know that what they're portraying, what they're putting out there is not who they really are, is not what they really is, right?
Mhm.
So what they basically have to do, right, and an individual is first of all be honest and say, okay, I'm gonna write this book and it will be a book of truth.
Mm. Okay.
I'm the one who is able to pen the book of my life based on who I am. I may need help to do that.
Right. Right.
I may have some kind of, deficiencies in some area or the other,
Mhm.
right? So I'm going to have to be honest with me to say, I cannot do this on my own.
Mhm.
I need help. And it takes a level of maturity for a person to say, you know what? I need help.
Mhm.
I cannot do this on my own. I've tried before and I've failed. So there must be someone who can help me to guide me in the right direction. So as I write this book that's called Life,
Mhm.
someone out there, because everything that we go through in life, everything is about us. It's never just for us, the individual,
Right.
but it's always something that can bring change in someone else's life. It's always something to be a testimonial to someone else. It's always something that could bring deliverance to someone. So, in writing of the book, when we can say, this is the real me, this is what I've gone through, this is how I got out of it, this is how God delivered me. This is how I can encourage you when you read the page of my book. Be it that I'm writing an actual book, be it that it's in my communication, be it that it's in the way that I operate on my job, be it that it's the way that I behave when I'm on the street. It's something that they're reading about us.
Mhm.
Everything that we say, everybody language, it's been read. So we are able to shape our own life, and we just need to do that in honesty and in truth.
Well said. Pastor, what would you say to that same question? What if you were dealing with someone that, they said, you know what, Pastor, I see your life and, I'm really intrigued. What would be the first thing you will say to them in a way that they will understand? Because probably the reason why they're coming to you is because somebody that probably you're close knit with, or they work around you and they have, they know you. And so they want to know, they say, I need to make some changes in my life. Where would you tell them to start first?
Well, I believe you're a prophetess because many persons have been asking me that. I mean, whereas those who knew me from growing up, Grand Span in the gang, seeing this change in my life, uh, the first thing I would say to them, it's not an overnight
Mhm.
job because people tend to only glorify in your glory. They don't even think that there's a journey, much less the story. They just know they're watching Thursday Night Live and we're talking all good and dandy. They're watching Jumpstart in the morning and I'm going verse by verse, but they don't understand that for me to get there, there was a journey before I get there. And on that journey, it pulls some things out of me to get where I'm at that you can now see the end result of it and decide to ask me uh, 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 You watch it, you're feeling nice about it, continue the good job, and how can I get in something like that? 90% of the time when people ask you about the good you do, they think they can achieve it in your answer alone. It's a price to pay.
Yes, yeah.
It's a price to pay. So my first initiative at all times when people ask me that, I tell them, close your eye on the glory. Ask me about the journey. Hear about the story. And then you'll understand, how do I get here and why I deserve to be here. Because if I just whet your appetite, whet your ego about you telling me you're watching it and it's nice and you want to do it, and I go and say, go ahead, I tell you, go kill yourself.
Mhm.
Because I can talk about the scripture through my lens because of my journey.
Mhm.
I can put the Bible aside and still be in context with God because of my story.
Mhm.
So when people come to you and tell you about the good trait they see in you, the good part of your personality, they're actually saying, tell me how I can get this done by you done answering me.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I tell myself, I ain't going to trick nobody. It's hard work to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I'm still working hard.
Amen.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if you really want to change and to achieve, as you say, somebody else achieve, you have to be willing to go through the extent that they went through. If
Mhm.
they had not gone through it, the finished product would not intrigue you.
Right.
So anybody, I've been asked many times, boy, how you just anointed so? Oh, how can you just say God talk to you and you speak God talk to you without any wondering that, boy, what if it not come true? You just believe God on a different level. My journey. My journey. And that is why Elisha, when he called Elijah, my father, it was not a slang for him. It was not a code. It's that through the journey we walk together, the story we accomplish, I am not a place where I can say, my father, because in the journey, you cared for me.
Mhm.
In the journey, you taught me some things, facts of life. You spend time wondering, nurturing. Sometimes I think I get on your nerves. Sometimes you think that you get me at a place where I should be angry because they tell me that we're going Mount Carmel, and then when we reach Mount Carmel, they tell me say we're going to go somewhere else. And when we reach, they say, make up your mind. You know what I'm saying? The journey is what qualifies you for me to say, my father, my father. So when people ask me that question, I tend to tell them seriously about the journey before they get there. And we have some people corresponding with us in chat, like Father Turbo is saying, Minister Mary Philip, you are saying the truth tonight. All of what you said is right. And I think that is in your opening statement. Sister Nikita Kirchman is saying that we should always spend time encouraging and appreciating ourselves first before we look to others to do so. That's one big point you make right there. So you see what I'm saying? Because somehow that's why we can't move on with our personality. We're waiting for somebody to come and cheer us on. We have to learn to cheer on ourselves. Joanna is saying loving correction is what we are commanded to do. So how do we tell someone they're mean or have a bad temper, etc.? What ITV, I guess that's abbreviation. So we're having some good thing. I think that's a question from Joanna. And Primo is saying excellent job, I think, on the ad and the phone card and the card and all of these things, right? So I mean, it is such a broad limb. And I love that question that you asked, because right there, I know somebody's helped, right? Because they get swallowed when people come and tell them, good job, you do it, show me how to do it. And then they spend time and try to show them how to do it and forget, say,
Yeah,
even when you try to show them, they still want to go to the journey. They can't trick the process.
right. You can.
You can't spike the process. I can be cooking some beef or steak right now and didn't get the chance to season that steak. I can trick your taste bud according to the amount of seasoning I put, because it didn't get time to marinate and all of that. I can trick your taste bud, but you can't trick facts of life. You
Right.
can't trick reality. So one have to know that any change you're going to make in your life, it's going to start with a journey.
Thank you, Pastor.
Just to add to that, I think if someone wants to be better, first they have to know what exactly they want. You know, as Minister Phillips had mentioned before, it's like setting goals. So you can't wake up this morning and say, oh, I want to be a better person. And then you're asking, how do you want to be better? And you're dumbstruck. You have to know exactly what better do you want? Where do you want to go? And I think once you have determined where exactly you want to go, you now have to look at where you are at now, and then kind of like set a path or a map in terms of getting to where you want to go, or getting to the better person. And Mr. Sir, you mentioned something about, you know, the journey. And I did have a point written down here that, you know, as we get into the frame of mind of being a better person, or, you know, developing ourselves or learning to grow, we have to understand that we need to take it at our own pace. So just as you gave the example, you are on Thursday Night Live, you have started your jerk center, you're running your restaurant, you're doing all these things. Many persons will appreciate everything that you're doing, but who really knows the journey? So somebody will say, oh, I want to be like Mr. Sir, and they're up quick and running, all right, I'm going to open a business, or I'm going to start a jerk center. But by the time they make the first few steps, they have stumbled, because they're trying to get to where you are within a short space of time, and you probably took how many years to get to where you are at. So,
Yep.
you know, I think those are some very important points when we think about self-development and growth.
There,
Sorry, what did I say?
there is a comment here from Alberta Smith. She's saying, this life is a real challenge. Sometimes in life, you try to live a Christian life and people just take you for granted. Challenge in the sense that the enemy sees you living a Christian life and wants to mess you up. And if you're not strong in God, your life melts away in anger, which is sin. But it is basically our faith being tested to find our strength in God.
Profound. So true. But I really would like you to back up as well to, I think Joanna is asking a question here that need answering. If you could back up to her question, but Alberta Smith, you are dead on point with that, right? And according to what Minister Kayan said earlier, she's dead on, but I want to emphasize on something that she says, that we have to take it at our own pace. Taking it at our own pace sometimes can be deadly, because sometimes we are so comfortable in the position that we are in that we use taking at our own space sometimes as an excuse and don't even know. The truth is, the person might mean well, that I want to take my time with this, but there is a scripture in the Bible that says sometimes you have to forget about asking them the question and just snatch them from their position, snatch them from where they are, right? Because sometimes what they call taking their time is procrastinating.
True.
And there is an open window towards change, and that window don't stay open all the time. Because God could send me in Minister Mary's life so that Minister Mary can help me to develop a area of my life. And I sit back, relaxed in my comfort zone, sipping on whatever in a cup and saying, all right, I could take 2 years with this, when not knowing that God plan is for Minister Mary to move on to the next assignment. And I'm there thinking that we have time, and what she's to do in my life, nobody else can do it, because she, God give the grace to do it. So she will display the patience, she will display the tenderness, she will display all that need to display. Sometimes I wonder, oh, cousin, I'll testimony me, I tell her the truth. I'm a hard man to deal with sometimes. I have to confess. You talk about being truthful, right? I'm very hard, and I know right wherever Rochelle that she dance right now, and I say, glory, him say it. They said the levels. I can confess that. What can you confess? They said the levels. So we need to know that there is a time frame, because the world is moving. It don't stop. So sometimes we have to break out of our comfort zone and recognize that, you know what, I have a timing to get this done. And because everything is a season. Seasons don't last always. So we can't sometimes bank on how we feel to take our time, because sometimes ourselves will trick us where that is concerned. And then you ever set out to do something and say I take your time, and then with time gone, you don't even know. And then all you're saying that I could have done this long time. I should have done this before. That's what I mean, right? So Joanna question, Minister God.
Yes. I'm going to read Joanna's question and would love for Minister Phillips to answer that. But just to finish off what you were saying, Sister Pam is in agreement. She said, that is so true, Pastor. Taking our own time does not work all the time. It's like a delay process. So just to finish off what you were saying. So Minister Phillips, Joanna is asking, how do we lovingly tell someone they are mean or have a bad temper? What if they don't think you're correct?
The question is that someone, are you friends with that someone? Or just somebody random that just mean? I mean, you don't have a lot of control in telling someone like a perfect stranger, because you may not get any response, the response that you would like to get. But if it's someone that's your friend, or you have some kind of a some little relationship with, you would probably wait for the right moment to say something like that. Or like I said, I think it was last week, I said, make a positive deposit, because anytime you're extracting for where there's a deficit, you're gonna get some kind of reaction from that individual. But find some nice things to say about them. They might have some qualities that probably and then so once you mention the quality and say, you know what, I like that dress you have on today. That looks so good on you. The colors make you shine. Then there wouldn't be so much more to lash back at you if you tell them. And I say, by the way, you know what? The other day we were talking and you acted so mean. What's the deal? So it's better than if you give them, you remember, you guys from the islands. And so I remember my mother, whenever she given around mango season, she'll give us, after we finish eat all that mango, they say you got worms in your body. So they'll give us castor oil. But some nice parents used to put a little sugar in your mouth after you drank the castor oil, so you don't taste the taste. But the castor oil is actually working what it's supposed to work. So depositing something positive in that individual, they're mad, but they wouldn't be as mad as if you just tell them, you're so mean, in that type of way. So I will say, that's what I will say. I don't know. What would you say, Minister Keon? How would you answer that?
Before you go to Minister Keon, Minister Phillips, I need counseling from you.
You do?
Could you stop, Minister Garden? Minister Garden, please stop. Minister Garden, in the name of peace. Minister Althea, in the name of peace. Stop looking at my note. Take your eye off of my notepad.
Somebody who is a friend, if it's a total stranger, or more so if it's a friend, if a friend should be able to tell me, say, listen to me, your attitude stink. And I know that my friend have my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
So I need you to teach me how to polish it that way, because for me, like and like in the opening remarks, we're saying, you know, it doesn't matter what, everybody need to develop in some area or the other, right? But for me, it's like, you know what? You're just mean. Go ahead. You're mean. There is no answer is about it. You're mean.
But
I
you're trying, sorry, Pastor, you're trying to get some type of resolve from you being telling that individual they're mean. So if you come about, you sounding mean to them mean, then you're looking at like you're trying to raise a forest fire or something.
I love this tonight, but I'm gonna tell Althea father say Althea a peeping in my book. And she need to stop. But if we should take Joanna's question in context and in line with the word of God, one, it depends on your personality. Your personality and the personality of the individual. Two, it depends on the event, how and where it happened. For instance, the other day I dealt with something publicly, and one person thought I shouldn't have dealt with it publicly. And they were trying to rebuke me in a subtle way. And I said to them, go and go read Matthew chapter 18. Jesus said, if you wrong me, I must come to you and make you know that you wrong me. He never tell me to find where wrong it. Instead, if he come to you and tell you, say, you wrong me. And then him say, if you hear what I say, meaning that you accept that you wrong me, then I gain you. The objective in approaching somebody about something that is not right about them is so that you may gain them.
Exactly.
And when you gain them, it's sometimes people do some things that you want to lick them with that for them bad body like a Brian Lara bat bow six. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's just the truth. But then now you have to recognize that at the end of it, you want them to say, thank you because you've been helped. You've been an help.
Right.
My personality, I'm just learning, to be honest with you. Because me the type of guy where if you come around me and your mouth think, I'm going to tell you, say your mouth think. Bex if you want, Bex if you never have thinking, wouldn't have it tell you. But I'm now learning to kind of polish it, you know. Probably give them one mint, one gum, or one buckle of mouthwash. Just say, me go to the shop and me buy 2, one for myself and one for you. And sometimes when you do it that way, they then just can put it down. Because they don't see them have no need for it. But if me just come and make you know, say, boy, you better kick like a random. And me give a breath wash, you're going to use that till it done. It's reality. So it depends on the person's personality. Pastor Johnson and I, for instance, Pastor Johnson can sit down in front of me and tell me point blank without pretty it up. And him knowing what he gave me. I can tell him just like it is.
Right.
Without pretty enough. And I know again him. We're friend after that. No feelings, no care. No nothing, no care. We're good with gringo. Just the same. And I believe people need to get on a ground like that. To know that you only talk to me like that because you're interested in my development.
Right. Exactly.
And I only talk to you like that because I'm interested in your development. But I believe under the core of my skin that there are some people you can't polish it up with. You just have to tell them raw, and if them bex, go and go bex, because you know what? Life I try to tell them long time. Life I try to tell them. Other persons try to pretty it up and then say them a bad mind, them bad. How can I bad mind if you're stinking bread?
But guess what? But you're looking for some type of resolution, right?
Correct.
So, you know, even if they're not listening, you tell them, chances are they're still not going to listen to you anyway, because number one, they don't want to change. But the relationship with, if you know that person, they know that's how you guys roll, probably it might work. I don't know. You know, some people love the hard knocks. They don't mind getting it raw. And it's like, that's how I've done, because they're used to that kind of thing. But there are other people that they're dealing with other negativities in their lives. And so for you to add something else to it, it's not going to help them. So you're always good to look for something positive about
Right.
them to deposit that. And because see, they put the wall's going to come down. You at least could peek to see their face because they have a wall up. They don't want to hear you, you know. But if you say something kind to them, say, oh, I like how you deal with that customer today. That was nice, you know.
I have a friend. A friend that I truly love, care for, a friend that have so much potential, abilities, a friend that, I mean, they can stretch so far. But this friend of mine been through so much in life that anything approach this friend that seems like what hurt the friend in the past, the friend gone in our cocoon. I tried ways to polish it up. I tried ways to put it nice. And one day, I just said, I put it nice. I call them and I say, let me tell you something, Sister Kayan. Whoops! But I tell her to say, Sister Kayan, me talk. Right? Me tell her, let me tell you something, Sister Kayan. You think too much about your hurt. See her there? Right there. Me say you think too much about me. Say you have so much abilities, amazing. A little single mother with 2 pitney, you find time to design the things you design, plus I be a cake, a cook, I do your job, I do your thing. You wanna angle all of that, and you still up in the feelings, and I think afraid that they approach you like that because they want to hurt you and they want to do. Ask her, me just drop it on her like it hot, and you know what? It work. It work. She texts me later because she couldn't talk to me. She push up her mouth. But when she sit down and realize, say, boy, you know, say, Mr. Sir care about me, that's why I talk about me. So you see, she send one text, say, thank you. I know you mean well. And all of that. I mean,
because
we text her back.
But sir, you have a relationship. That's why you're able to talk like that. I have a relationship with my kids. I can talk that way because they know when I talk to them a certain way, they know that I care. They may not like it right away. But, you know, a couple of days down the road, they realize, you know what, Mom, you were right. I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? So, but if it's somebody you don't have any relationship with, nothing ain't going to happen. It's going to cause more friction between the two of you.
Pastor Johnson.
It's my turn. You know what happened? It totally depends. It totally depends on the scenario, what the situation is. And whatever, it totally depends. Sometimes the reason why people don't they don't come out and say it for what it is because of fear and because they think they don't have the approach to just tell people the way it is. I'll use an example. There's this place that I used to work before, and a young lady got a job there. And the young lady, like her armpit was like bad, very
like Jackie Chan,
right? And people used to like. I didn't have a relationship with her. I didn't know her. She just started working there, right? And people on the unit, they would whisper about her, and they wouldn't approach her. And I didn't like that because I'm like, for her, she's been living with that for years. To her, it's normal. Right. To her, there's no body order. There's nothing like that. But people, when she come around people and people find it offensive, I'm saying somebody should say something. And one day I just call her into a room. I said, listen, I need to talk to you. And she said, okay. I said, I can't be a hypocrite. I just have to tell you as it is. And what you do with it, at the end of the day, it's up to you, but it's for your benefit. I said, listen, you have a very bad odor. You don't use deodorant? She said, what's that? She didn't have a clue what deodorant was. And then I had...
From Africa. She was in Africa.
Was that the tone of voice you did? How did you approach her?
Well, just like how we're talking. Just like we're talking, because it upset me that people are whispering behind her and not saying anything to her.
Okay.
Right? So I'm like, you know what? Forget about it. Somebody have to do it. I may as well jump in the fire. So I didn't talk about it in front of others. I pulled her aside. Right. And I said,
see, that right there says a lot.
yeah,
That's right. Somebody else might have just blurted out in front of everybody, but you pulled her aside. That's it.
that would have been embarrassing. So I said,
Yes.
listen. And when I explained, she said, what is that? I don't know what that is. And I told her about it. I told her the brand that they have. I let her know, listen, maybe different brand work for different people. If you have to try a few till you get a good one, that's it.
Mhm.
And she listened and she said, thank you so much for telling me the truth. Thank you so much for being straightforward. Thank
Right.
you so much. And there are managers, even at that workplace, who they come and they act a certain way. And I said, listen, I need to speak to you in your office. And I tell one manager, I said to her, you'd never have a second chance to make a first impression. Your
Right.
first impression stinks.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my goodness, you coming in and talking to me like this, tell me that you're a confident person, because a lot of people are not going to do it. And anytime she have something that she's concerned about, she would come to me.
Right.
But the fact that I could approach her point blank, say it just as it is,
Right.
right? She appreciate that. It's not like we had a relationship. She was on the job for like 1 or 2 days.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is that you pulled her aside. You didn't tell her in front of everybody.
No.
And not only that, it speaks that she's teachable. I remember the very first time I visited Pastor Johnson Church, like the Sunday, because I was doing an event the following Saturday. Never know him, never seen from him, born. Never know that there was a Philbert Johnson on planet Earth. So when I went up, took the mic to advertise the concert, he recognized that there's a preacher inside of me, because I didn't tell him. He didn't have a clue. So he invited me this Sunday to come and preach. It was a youth Sunday. I went and I preached the gospel, and I said, yeah, I'm supposed to get a trophy when me done. Pastor Johnson, when church done, he go greet up him, said, don't move, preacher, don't move. And he go greet up everybody and done, and he got 2 chairs, I'll never forget it. He get 2 chairs and put them in front of each other, and he says, sit down right there. So the man don't know me. He don't have a clue who I be. And he say, I'm going to say some things to you, and you can take it wrong, you can take it right. I may never see you again, you may never want to talk to me again, but I will not be the hypocrite to tell you that you've done so well when you don't. He say, you're a very excellent preacher, but you preach 3 messages in one. After the first 45 minutes, people want to go home. People want to whatever, unless the anointing of God come down. He said, you can carry a message from now till God come, because you articulate your habit inside it. You God call you for this. He said, listen, but you see the way you execute the testimony is wrong. And it can damage you. So you need to dash with that, you need to dash with that, and keep that. You know, when I called his phone the Monday, what the first thing he said to me, he said, boy, I'm going to look for you, call me after that, you know. I said to him, you know how much hundreds of pastors me go in church, go preach. And then pat me on my shoulder and said, job well done, keep it up. You are the odd one. You are the first one that tell me where I'm going wrong and that I can do better. You know, that was since almost 7 years ago. And from that one sit down, he never had to sit me down again. Never had to. And every time I go and do a crusade or whatever, wherever, he will come and say, boy, I journaled that one thought there. You just don't forget it. You just carry on and you go excellent and you do whatever you do. You know why? Whether I know him or not, here is somebody want to see me do better.
Right.
And that's how the receiver need to receive it. Somebody want me to do better, whether they know me or not. So I'm going to come out of my feelings the way ever they talk to me, whether they talk to me rough or soft. But this is an opportunity for me to highlight where I need to develop in me. So you know I'm gonna take it. They might go and go clap and dance and say, boy, I'm bad him up and me throw it pan him, me drop it like it hot pan him. But make them say so after me put that in action. See what I'm saying? So I'm not saying everybody's like me, but I am one of them guys that you need to tell it like it is. Yeah, you pretty it up for me, me not hear you, me not feel you, me not read. Tell me like it is, I'm good with that. I call it the ugly truth. Yeah, because I am very much teachable, you know. I want to be better. Until now, me sit down in that chair here, I want to be better. That is why I don't care how many times I hear you speak, Minister Phillips, or Althea, or Keon. I listen to the structure of the conversation. May I listen on to pronounce certain words. May I listen on to put certain things in context and category. So when we out there, and like Althea listen me today and say, boy, polish your word. She don't understand, say, I listen, peace from she, peace from you, peace from Keon, peace from over there, so peace from around there. So I'm going to say, well, then this is how me I will articulate this. Yeah? And it worked. If we truly want to develop ourselves, it is going to cost us something.
Yep.
And we have to be willing to pay what it going to cost. If we're not willing to pay it, we can't get developed. So whether you tell me ugly or nice, so I'm saying to Sister Joanna, it's up to you how much you want to see this person correct their ways, develop themselves. If you so want to do it, you have to tell yourself this. Somebody else might not see it the way I see it. Somebody else might destroy them. So if I have an opportunity to lick the nail on the head, I'm going to lick the nail on the head. And the objective is to try and gain my brother. Is to try and gain my sister. At the end of the day, they must see that is, I mean them well. Yeah? But you need to let them know. You can't make them leave your presence and go in somebody else's presence and you don't tell them. The Bible would call you an hypocrite. Yeah? So you need to let them know. And the clock is ticking. Trying to find a way how to do it, the clock is ticking. Sometimes we just have to trust the approach. Sometimes we just have to trust the approach and approach the person. Yeah? And we'll probably be surprised. Yeah? Because the honest truth, Minister Philip, I never really sit and talk to Keon in person. All the time people say up and jumpstart their things, say, boy, we know each other like that. But no, that probably pass up on the road. Yeah? But I just tell myself, I try soft, I try around the corner, I try from up through the roof, I try from beneath the tile, I try from right by our side. This time, we just go dashy. And the dash say, yeah, we are good body same way. Right, Sister Kian, am I right or am I right? Yeah. So what we want to do, we want to take some of what people are saying in the chat as well, right? And think, but Minister Philip, let me tell you something, that outline that you lay, it's bringing some things in the chat right now. Start with Daddy Turbo, who said that you are right with everything you say, right? And these outline have people here. The chat is blowing up. So if Minister Garden can remember where she was, we want to interact with the people a bit, right? Because Alicia saying some things, Marcia Monroe saying some things, Sister Pamela Grant saying some things, Alberta Smith saying some things. So we want to take a few of them as you come again with, I know you have more questions because this is what you do. It's inside of you. You know, you shape people's life, you rebuild people's life.
Okay, so Mr. Herman Holland is saying to that question, I believe we have to make ourselves at a place to take teaching, be at a level where we can be reached. So that basically sums up what you were saying just now as well. I had read Alberta Smith's statement there. Let's see, I did Sister Pam's. Nikita Kirchman is saying, I would tell them
Alicia Beaton.
accept. Sir, you were saying something?
Yeah, Nikita Kirchman, Alicia Beaton.
I would tell them to accept responsibility for the action so they can be accountable for the results and take ownership for the mistake. Yes, Sister Pam is saying straight up front, Pastor. What Sister Pam is saying, or tell them their breath smells. just tell it to them. And then Sister Alicia is saying, sometimes when we put too much sweet to it, the person or persons may not get the opportunity to correct it going forward in a positive manner. Herman Holland is saying, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying, but to gain a person, we have to meet them in a nice way. So that's the part I say I need counseling in, to meet them in a nice way. And Minister Phillips know how to do that. And do you want me to tell you how I know Minister Phillips is able to do that?
Before you tell us, at this time, we will take another commercial break.
Thank you, sir.
Again, still a wonder.
Yes, so we do know that Minister Phillips is able to tell us, because why? She is more than capable. She is more than able. She have a lot under her belt that she has studied, and she can help rebuilding people's life. This is the reason why her ministry is called Rebuilding Life. Now, the question is, COVID-19 got you feeling down, feeling stressed out, relationship problems, tired of staying home, anxiety taking over, tired of expensive counseling? Let's talk about it. Coming very soon, you will be able to make an appointment to speak with our very own Minister Mary Phillip in a Zoom session. You need to stay tuned for all the update, because she is in the process of launching this business that will be helping many persons out there who are having personality issues as well, developmental issues, whatever your issues are. You can count on Minister Mary Phillips to help you to rebuild your lives. Why? Because all lives matters.
And I approve that advertisement and let you know, we will be her manager. If you notice, one of the things I highlighted there, easy payment plan. You see the levels? Yes. If we start circulate God money amongst God children, counseling is very expensive. And she's doing it at a cut cost rate. And she's more than qualified to do so. It's not a fly-by-night thing. She went and studied long for me and I get a degree. Half a fair degree belongs to me, right? So yes, I am very bright. So all who thinks I not got nothing under my belt, never half a degree. You see the levels? And it's not degree, sir. Right? So yes, coming very sooner than we think. Many of us need this, right? And we want to trust the process. Get the help that you need. It might be just what you need to develop yourself too. So yes, back to our featured broadcast.
Minister Gordon, I'm not sure if you had caught this question from Dortish. It was just above the comment from Sister Pam. She's saying good night. Why is it so hard to trust someone? So that was a question asked earlier.
It is very hard to trust someone because you have been so disappointed many times. Each time somebody abuse your trust, it's like you take a piece of your trust away. So it's not a crime if you find yourself hard to trust people. It is in order um, that sometimes people go through that. So a question like that is asked, it tells me that many persons just come and take a piece of your trust. So it's like you have none left, right? And what that happens is not even that you don't have trust left. It's just that each time persons break the trust barrier, you build a wall to protect your heart, a wall to protect your mind, a wall to protect your feeling. So it's not that trust is not there. It's just that you trust this wall in front of you now. So you're not giving anybody a chance to pass the wall to get to you, because everybody always come and break that trust barrier, hurt your feeling. So therefore, and it is in that context the scripture said, is because of all of that, the love of many grow wax cold, and man heart falling into fear. That fear is to trust again. Yeah. So it is in order, what you are that person need to do now is to give somebody a chance to help you break that wall down. Until that wall break down, your confidence will come and pass you. And you don't even know it because you're hiding behind a wall. Yeah. If it's a relationship that you've been through, more than one that hurt you, your husband or your wife will pass you because you're hiding behind that wall. And it's not good. That's not a very good wall to hide behind. So the trust is still there. It's just that you trust the wall instead of trusting people. I know others have their answer.
Said. I don't think there's anything to add to that. But before we wrap, because I know time is getting ready to wrap up, I wanted to ask a quick question, because I'll just throw that out there, because it's in our society is taboo. Counseling is taboo. People say, well, I don't want to know. I don't want nobody knowing my business. And, so I can do this myself. What's the importance of having probably a mentor? Because sometimes people can't do it by themselves. There are some people that can, they have the resilience that they can handle themselves. I don't need that much of a mentor, but I listen to other people. I listen to Pastor George. I listen to, Minister God and Minister Keon and different ones. There's always, I collect, because of what I love to do, I collect data. I read a lot. I get a lot of information so that I could build my brand, so to speak, right? But how important it is for someone to probably get a mentor, someone that will be there to cheer them on. Somebody, when you're down and discouraged, you could call and say, pray for me, like a prayer partner, someone that is know a little bit more than you do. And you're trying to get somewhere, and you're stumbling, you're falling, and you might need some help doing that. How important do you think that is? Anyone?
I think it's very important. It's something that I have to deal with, even though, one, you don't know everything. And, mentors, counselors, they act as that cushion of helping you to see things from a different perspective, rather than you just trying to figure it out all on your own. And then secondly, it is so much better to talk about whatever you were going through. My dearest twin sister, oh my word, she can testify how many times I was miserable and feeling down and depressed. And by the time she took me on the phone and, just spoke through the issue, I'm like, is this really what I was worried about? Because, sometimes you're faced with situations and it's like you don't know what decision to make. You're feeling so stupid that you might have done this, or you're feeling this way. But when you actually, well, first and foremost, you have to find somebody that you can trust, genuinely trust. So when you find that confidant, that counselor, you know, and they help you to see things from a different perspective. It helps you to even grow even at a quicker pace, if you understand what I mean. Because just thinking back at some of the things that Minister Gordon has helped me through, if I should have been stuck in that state of mind, possibly I wouldn't be here right now. I would have given up everything that I'm doing with the ministry of Jumpstart and Thursday Night Hot Topics Live. So, you know, one, you don't know everything, and two, you feel so much better. You literally feel so much lighter when you have somebody that you can talk to.
Yeah, that's good. Good answer. Good answer. And that takes out, you know, because culturally you'll find, and I'm not calling, you know, but I'll say the white folks will go to a counselor in a heartbeat.
But it's reality.
You know,
You know,
when they go to counselors, honey, they send their kids to counselors, they go themselves. But us folks right here, we don't want nobody knowing our business. We can handle that ourselves. There's one psychologist, a therapist said that the worst thing you can do to be in your head yourself, to handle matters of life in your head, because you're already going through, you don't have an answer, and you can talk yourself into suicide. You can talk yourself into damaging yourself even more. You need somebody to talk you out of this crazy, you know. And so that's why it is good to have some kind of mentor or somebody you can trust. And like you said with Minister Gordon, she's a good encourager. And by the time she's done with you, you know, you feel like you could run another race. You know what I mean?
The truth is, I believe every one of us being counseled, would it be by a named trusted counselor, or I've seen persons who use television to counsel them and shape them life, and they're not realizing that when you try practice what you see in the movies, you're tricking yourself, because what you see in the movies is just a script.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a script. They've been paid to act like that, right? But in the real world, it is needed, it is necessary, and it goes back to what we said before, one just have to be teachable. I am not afraid to talk about anybody. Minister Mary, I will tell you in a heartbeat, if I get angry to the point where I feel like I want to take up my phone and fling it in a wall, I'm not going to come and tell you that I'm not angry to that extent, right? Because you know what? Me telling you how angry I get, I want to fling my phone in a wall. I'm telling you open that you is going to say to me, well, if you fling the phone in the wall, you're going to have to buy another one. And that's money you can use to do something else. And then bam, it's reality. It's reality. The truth is why people don't warm up to counselors and see themselves fit for counselors or wanting counselors. It's because they're not truthful to themselves. That's just it. They're not truthful to themselves, because they've been trying to work it out in their brain all this time, and it's like they're sinking deeper in what it is, and they're just not truthful to say, I need help. If me need help, me need help.
Yeah.
I'm lying.
And it's either you're going to help me or you don't help me. But if I go under, you cannot say I did not call out for help.
Yeah.
And if we can get to the place where we understand how important it is, that is why God gave you a left hand and a right hand. They are not perfect. They are opposite. They help each other. Solomon in Ecclesiastes 12 called them the keepers of the house. They are the helper for the house. Yeah? So if your body, if your right hand have to depend on your left hand and your left hand on your right hand, you must understand that it is life. That is why God just did not leave Adam as the only human in the Garden of Eden. So one, we have to start being honest to ourselves. I have been trying to fix me and I cannot fix me. Let me try get some help. because this situation is holding me back. This situation is sinking me deeper. I'm losing great friends. I'm losing great relationship. I'm losing out on my potential. And me soon cross that age of the bar where I can't do it anymore. So now I have little strength and energy. Let me call Minister Mary Philip and start with her. At least she's in another country. I am in another country, and whatever. And we can talk through the phone, and I can tell her what I want to tell her on the phone and hear how I see what our advice would be towards me. We have to learn to trust people. We cannot go to the animals for counseling. We cannot go to the wall for counseling. We cannot go to our bed for counseling. We have to trust people. That's why it's Solomon again. Is it Solomon? Iron sharpened iron. Paul says, forsake not the gathering of the saints together as others have done and have fallen into sin. Because iron sharpened iron, so a man sharpened the countenance of his friend, the countenance of his friend, the personality of his friend. You see what I'm saying? It is very important. I have Alta there. I can tell Alta anything. Some things that I can't even tell my wife. It's not that I can't tell my wife, but Alta will meet me at a level, and I can just unmask to Alta and know that she's not going to throw me under the bus, know that nobody now going to hear about it. It's going to stay there, and she's going to help me get to a place where whatever problem I throw on her that I am having, she's going to help me to a place where I can stand. We must, every one of us have cheerleaders. Every one of us have somebody that believes in us. Yeah. Every one of us have somebody that wants to see us achieve and make it right. Do it right. But the truth is, many of us don't recognize them because they don't come in a wrapping gift bag that we expected. And they are right there beside of us, waiting for us to acknowledge them. Somebody draw a reference about a TV film, a lady looking for a castle, and she have a dog there to take her right where the castle is, but she's stopping, asking everybody to show her where the castle is. She gone all off a tracker, try to find people to tell her the castle, and then have to end up right back to the little dog with the right side of her. The dog know the way she should have reached the castle a long time. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we have our chairpersons. It's just for us to recognize them and give them the opportunity to take us where cheer us on to where we're supposed to be. Nothing embarrassing about wanting to do better. That's why I'm not just ashamed of can't read and write and spell certain things. Why should I be ashamed? If you're going to spell it for me, spell it for me. If you're not, you're just nah. And if you can't pronounce it, me can spell it, me can't pronounce it. So you know what? If I want to tell Minister Mary Philip that Alberta, and I don't know it's Alberta, I'm going to say, Minister Mary Philip, that name that come up, that spell Albertha. Minister Mary Philip, I know who I'm talking about. So I'm not ashamed about nothing. Reality speaking, I want to be better. I want to be developed. So every one of us must get to that place. Because you know what? The time is ticking. The clock is moving. The world is spinning. So there's no shame in this. None at all.
No.
A lot of time, just to just add a little bit there, and you're perfectly right with what you just said. Some people, it's their ego that gets the best of them, and they think to say, you know what, because sometimes people put up a facade to make people believe, like I said in my opening statement, make people to believe that they are what they're not. So though the truth is facing them to say, I need help, it comes with an embarrassment factor, because now they have to be open. My pastor, Pastor John C. Taylor, he had preached on a message about being broken open. Broken open. So because they put on a facade, right? Now that they have to open up to say, I need help, they realize that they have to take down the walls that they build, the wrong images that they portray. And that is why at times people just don't want to reach out for help. It's like, take, for example, a man and his wife might be in the church and they're having marital issues. Instead of just saying, I need help, we're having issues, they would pretend it through and the years would go by. And every year they count the year of anniversary and the year of anniversary. And they're not living a good life together. They're just celebrating the years, but
They're not even having sex.
there is no fruit, there is no love, there's absolutely nothing. But if them, like, say for example, if like you just say, I need help in this area, or you know what I mean, you come out and say, I'm having trouble in this area, whatever. If some people would just come and say, so, or church, pray for me, I'm going through a rough time right now, with my marriage. But some people might just think to say, because of their status in life, they can come to, say, for example, Sister Ken, and say, Sister Ken, pray for me, I'm going through so and so. Because why? The member in her church might consider themselves too high to ask her to pray for them, right? And it's about the ego, and they're thinking, okay, what people are going to say, what people are going to think. The bottom line is, you are the one who need help. And one of the first things that Minister Phillips talked about is honesty. Honesty. If we can just be honest about what's happening and say, you know what, I'm in a situation and me need help. I don't care what anybody want to think or say. I need help. In the long run, I'm the one who is going to benefit from it. So if it means that I have to face embarrassment, okay, that's fine. If it means that I'm going to have to face ridicule and people whispering and talking about me, that's fine. I'm willing to go through that to get the help that I need. And that's basically what it boils down to. And Sister Marcia was saying that everybody need a mentor, but cannot tell them everything. Alberta Smith was saying sometimes not having someone to counsel you can sometimes lead you to worldly addictions, and that can control our lifestyle, the way we live. And that is so true, because somebody might say they can talk to somebody, but they're going to go to drugs, or they're going to go to alcohol. They're going to go to something that's going to appease that pain, right? Sister Pam is saying, yes, sir. Say it again. Sister Alberta is saying pride is a bad thing. Sister Pam is saying, he that is sick, seek a physician. So at the end of the day, we have to learn to just unmask. We're in a society where everybody is putting on everything. When you see the lashes, they're out to here. When you see the bum, it's out to there. When you see the boobs, is way out there. When you see, like, there's so much add-ons, and when, like, the face, like, everything, there's so much that, sometimes these things start marital problem even before the marriage itself starts. Because just imagine a bride having everything well made up. Every time the man see her, she's looking fine and dandy. There's no spot, there's no blemish, there's absolutely nothing. He'd never seen her true color, so to speak. And on the night of the honeymoon, all of a sudden she's supposed to get undressed. She's taking off a butt. What happened to the one God give you?
Oh, God.
Heart attack.
Pulling the lashes. What God gave you? Or what about saying, anybody want to add on things, that's fine. But what about saying to the person before that time comes? Because you don't want to shock the man out of his skin. You know what? I realize that God gave man knowledge to create some things to enhance my
Yes.
And he has, given man the knowledge, and he gave me the money that I can purchase these things and I can put them where I need them to enhance the beauty. But honestly, around there is not really like that, that's just when the time come and I'm going to remove it, don't feel so scared. You're preparing the person. The problem from the get-go. You know what I mean? And that's just one very small example. But it's for us when we can unmask what we're going through and say, you know what? I'm going through this. Can you help me through it? What I do, if somebody come to me with something and I know from earth to heaven that I cannot help them, I will say, have you talked to Pastor Redeem? You need to speak to Pastor Redeem on this one. If it's in my church at Light and Life Ministry, have you talked to Pastor Taylor? This one is something you need to speak to Pastor Taylor about, because at the same time, we have to know what is in our scope to deal with so that we're not giving people wrong information and we're not directing them in the wrong way. When we see that we cannot do it, send them to someone who we believe is more advanced in that area, who have more experience in that area, who could be a better help in that area. And on this note, we're gonna just consider this to be my closing remarks, and you could do yours, and we will be going. Remember, we will be continuing this for the next couple weeks, right? So think about your questions, prepare them, as you come to the forum next Thursday, because there's a lot to do when it's come to personal growth and development, when it comes to personality, because people are going through a lot of things and they might not know exactly how to deal with it. There might be somebody who is so educated, have their degree, they go to school, they study this, but they cannot get a job in their field, and that may maybe make them feel discouraged or disheartened and stuff like that, and they need some kind of coaching on how to deal with some of the things that they're going through. It could be anything, right? So
it's so profound, and I'm really so happy that we will continue this for the next 2 weeks, however long. While you were just talking out here, I reflect on my late best friend. I say late because he's deceased. Brother Bailey, Rupert Walters. People couldn't understand how comes for years from 1993, Rupert and I remained best friends. One of the things, if you had met him, he had a little speech impediment. But one of the things about him, he didn't have a hypocritical bone inside of him. You could have been bosom buddy and him see you step out of line. He's going to tell you straight up to your face. And I love him for that. He was one of my first mentor. And when I told him, he could not believe it. He came to spend some time with me in Barbados. And I sat him down. We were at the poolside one day, and I said to him, I said, Bailey, you know why I love you? He said, because we are Christian, man, you are Christian. And I said, no, Bailey, not because I'm a Christian. You always tell me like it is. When others smile and laugh, when others just, you always tell me like it is. And sometimes even going through the things I'm going through, I miss him for that. I miss him for that. Everybody make an input in our life. Everybody. It's for us to look for our cheerleaders and appreciate them. Bailey couldn't be a hypocrite. Bailey, we come to this forum right now, and if he don't like nothing that we say, it's going to be a long night, because he not make this close until he get to tell us, say, you know what, you just talk some nonsense. It's reality. And if you hurt him, he's not going to smile. He's going to tell you. I learned so much from him, right? And if we look at the little people in our life that we deem as nobody, they are the chalkboard with the writing for help us. Every one of us have those people in our lives. Every single one of us. And I believe that this program, by the time it comes to an end in the next few weeks, we're going to have some great testimony out of this. Because I'm going to borrow Minister Philip ministry name. This is what you call rebuilding lives. This is what you call rebuilding life. And Minister Mary, that is why the three culprits, the three righteous culprits, decide to throw you under the bus and decide we are going to have a series down this avenue. Because no, you unite again, big unite. You're one of the big one unite, about two. Yeah, you are one of the
sure did.
you're one of the big one unite. Yeah, you see how she do the flyer and put the little man sit down in the chair stressed out with you looking like Joanna over the table. Yeah? Big culprit. Big one. So that is why we definitely decide to tailor Thursday night at Topic Live for a few weeks, because you know what, Minister Philip? It's inside of you. The open remarks alone set the tone for tonight. And you didn't even recognize that. 99.9% of what you say when you just started is what brought us to this place. And I think it's going to get better. I know it's going to get better. And I am so proud of you. Yeah?
Thank you.
And we are happy to have you as our guest for the next 2 weeks or more. Yes? So let me say thanks to my two accomplices. Yes? And the charge I'm getting, you know, I get the same charge too. Only difference, I think them are going to put me in the same cell, because Ken would be crying, stush crying in English. Oh, why am I here? Don't deserve this. Take me out. Let me go home. And me, I gonna say, wow, you know wicked. Let me go home for me picking them. You see what I'm saying? So I'm so happy. Whoa.
Oh,
I didn't even realize. You see why people not tell lie? You see why people not tell lie? This Anson Walters here is Biley's sister. The same young man me I talk about is his sister. You see why people not tell lie? Is Rupert Walters, my best friend, Biley, sister that right there. So yes. So yeah, we want to say thanks and consider that my closing remark. Accomplice number one.
My battery is almost dead. It's giving me the signal to shut off. So if you guys out, then it's just because of my battery. Everyone have an awesome night. Blessing.
Okay, on before the battery cut out.
But you know, it's just so amazing that we're talking about this topic for real, because you know, at first when COVID came in, everybody was in a panic mode, but within recent times, I keep hearing persons talking about, you know, starting their own business, or they want to try this, or they want to see where this goes. So you can see that persons are really taking the time to really self-reflect, to look at their talents, look at what they can do now that they have, per se, a little more time on their hand. So it's good that persons are really, you know, taking that perspective and taking a launch to really be better individuals. You know, and we're just here to help and guide and also to learn from each other. So tonight was very informative and interesting. And thank you, my dear culprits, for that little ad. I appreciate it. I still love you, Minister Gordon. I know that's all you right there. I won't even look over to Mr. Sursa.
Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
I'm saved. I'm saved. I'm so saved. Thank you, Jesus.
And I can see that Minister Philip, she is already so proud of herself, just looking at the bright smile on her face. You know, I know that she's looking forward to great things with this new business, and we will definitely be praying for you, praying with you as you launch out into new territory. So thanks again for listening, everyone, and have a wonderful
Minister Althea and Minister Phillips, please to let Sister Kayan know that I am in Jamaica. She need to make time to seize me. I got my laptop for she do some things on it, and she need to bake me the cake. Okay. She think me still there, Antigua. She convinced. Pardon? She convinced I'm still in Antigua.
I saw you sipping your tea. I thought you were in England.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I'm there as well too. But thank you all for viewing. Join us next week, tomorrow morning, and jumpstart at 6, 5 Jamaica time. And at 9:30, which would be 8:30 Jamaica time, is Minister Mary Phillips. And tomorrow is Friday. She will be dealing with what? Prayer. And she's inviting those who have testimony. So those of you who have a testimony from tonight, you can just inbox her. She will send you the link and you can go on and testify. The testimony of the Lord is sure, make it wise and simple.
Don't be shy.
Testimony. Don't be shy. You're good with that. Your counselor that. You see the levels? So this is where I say have a good night. Be blessed. Until then, share this video not for popularity statistics, but that others may know, and be blessed. Good night, one and all. Until then.
Everyone, God bless.